This conference
No,
will now
I
be
just
recorded.
got here today. I just got here today. This is my
Okay,
first class.
okay. Hey, hi Vishnu.
This conference will now be recorded.
Guys, I will stop the recording whenever class starts. Okay, take care of it. You can leave it.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, how many of you completed the task which I have given on the day? I mean, day before yesterday. Since yesterday I'm not well. Maybe that is the reason. I mean, that is the reason I have not taken the session. Right. So, how many of you completed the task which I have given on the day? Yes, yes. Mike. Hey, hi, Mike. Is it completed, Mike?
No, I've been busy.
Okay. Johnny, Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, I've tried, Sujit.
Tried and you got the output?
Little, but not completely. That day I sent you a message now, the same thing I executed,
Yeah.
but sometime I'm getting some errors. Okay, I was keep practicing.
Okay. Can I help you out with the errors? I mean, for the errors, if you want. Or else if you want to give a try, you can give a try one more day.
I will try and I will ask you again.
Yes.
Yeah, I will try it again.
That's great. That's great. What about Chandrasekhar? Okay. Vishnu, I think you also joined on the day, Vishnu. I think so.
That I missed before 3 or 4 classes.
Your voice is not clear, Vishnu. Your voice is very low.
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, now it's better, Sujit.
I can hardly hear you, but I will try.
Yeah, now it's better.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So,
but I missed some more class. Yeah.
Actually,
tell.
see, my coordinators has given some recordings to you for everyone, I guess, right? For who are from my side, from Johnny, Chandrasekhar, like Muruswamy, and a few people, I mean Mike and all. I'm giving daily basis the recordings, right? Apart from that, who got the recordings today? Okay, what you can do here is four videos are there in that. Please ignore first two
Yes,
videos.
Sujit.
Okay, please ignore first two videos and try to complete by tomorrow's session. Please try to complete last two sessions. Those are from there onwards actual sessions started. First two sessions are whenever you have a time in the weekends you can go through that. That is a theoretical. Okay, first two sessions people will be keep on coming and going out. That is the reason I have not given much. I just given some theoretical part on that first 2 days. Okay, you can ignore that as of now. Okay, so third and fourth sessions, okay, please be updated, please watch the videos. Okay, there, that is the third session is very very important in order to understand about a mule application, right? Let me stop my WhatsApp web here. Unnecessarily it is creating some problems. Right, so hope everyone understood. Everyone understood? Clear?
Yes, yes, Sujit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoever got the videos today, please, I mean, today's session is very, I mean, it's like nowhere related to previous sessions, but it's a conceptual based, very easiest task today. Okay. By tomorrow, I want everyone to be up to date up till today's session. Please take some time, ignore first two videos and watch last two videos and today's session, three sessions completely. okay, by tomorrow session, so that everyone will be on the same page. Okay, no more new joinings in this batch after today. Yeah, so I can see one more candidate, Vaishali. Who is the coordinator, Vaishali, for you? Vaishali? Okay, please respond, unmute your mic and respond, Vaishali. Okay, I will take care in the last. So today, whoever attended my previous session, I'm expecting the answers from them. What is the structure of a flow? What is the structure of a flow? What is the structure of a flow? Yes, yes, please.
Listener and mule.
Assume that this is a flow. What is the structure? We have a source, we have a process, and error handling block. Correct? In the source, what we configure?
Listener.
Listener. Basically, what type of components we configure in that source part? Inbound endpoints. Johnny, some background noise, Johnny. Thank you. So basically, we configure inbound endpoints, right? Like listener, right? So if you are getting HTTP request, we configure HTTP listener. So what the listener will do? Yes, yes, my old candidate should definitely should
We'll receive the
yes.
request from the customer.
Okay, after receiving the request, what it will
Convert
do?
mule event.
Very good. It's converting into mule event. What is the structure of an event? Of course, attributes, payload,
Attributes and variables. Payload and variables.
And variables. That way, that event will be processed by the processors. These all are the processors, right? Now the process will be, event will be processed. So what type of approach it will follow?
Event driven.
Event driven approach, right? Event driven approach. 1 second. Anyone name with Ravi here? Ravinder Reddy. I think Mahesh is the coordinator, Ravinder, for you, I guess.
Yes, yes, right.
And I can see no other Ravi right here. Okay, that's fine. So now where I stopped. So it is an event driven approach. Mule follows event driven approach. Now assume that I have one more flow. I have one more flow. This is also having a flow 2, and we have some listener, and we have some processors, the process part. Now I can invoke flow 2 from flow 1. That means basically we can invoke one flow to another flow, right? So if I want to invoke a flow 2, how to invoke from flow 1? By using one processor called flow reference. The scope of this flow reference is entire project level. That means it's a drop down. It's if you click on a drop down, it will list what are the flows available in your project level. Not only the flows present in the XML, it will provide all the flows present in the entire project level. Then what is the scope of this flow reference? Yeah, what is the scope of a flow reference right now? Project level. Project level, right?
Yes.
Now assume that my flow reference is referencing to flow 2. So execution will start from, I mean, in a flow 2 from where? Source or process part? Yes.
Process.
From the process?
Yes.
Why? What is the reason? I have a source, I have a listener here. Why source part? Sorry, why process part? Yes, yes. You told answer as process. Why? What is the reason? Jani, if you are speaking, I'm not able to hear your voice.
There is a background noise is coming. I'm muting all the times.
You're not speaking. Okay, okay.
Yeah, as I understood here, we are calling another process, right? Another flow, right? So
Yes.
customer will not. I mean, the request is only one time, and we are going from the process to another flow.
So basically, in other words, can I tell like, if client sends a request directly to this flow one, the listener, right? So what the listener is doing here, converting that request into event, right? So event is propagated to the flow two. So event, already we have an event from flow one. Why this source is required? Even though if you configure, it will be ignored, not be considered. So that event will be processed by the processors, and the head of the flow, an event will be given back to the flow one, the caller flow, and remaining process will get executed in the flow one. Right? Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, out of these two, which is a parent and which is a child? Of course, flow one will be the parent flow.
Parent.
Flow two will be child flow.
Child flow.
In other words, flow one will be called, the parent flow can be called as an main flow, and child flow can be called as a private flow. If you are aiming for a certification in one of the scenarios which they may ask, Ravinder, background noise. Thank you. So in your certification, sometimes they will get a scenario. They will state as, okay, from private flow you are getting so and so. How can you understand it's a private flow? That is the reason we are discussing about that. So when we can call any flow as a private flow? Yes. When we can call any flow as a private flow?
If that flow would only be a child of the parent or the main flow.
That means any flow which is invoked by some other flow. That reference flow can be called as a private flow? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When I can call any flow as a main flow?
Generated by listener.
Okay. In that case, let me write one more scenario. Assume that I have a flow 3. I have a processors here. And I'm using a flow reference in a flow 2 and invoking flow 3. Now, please tell me which is a main and which is a private.
Also a child flow, the third one.
Flow 2 is the main.
Which is the private?
Yes.
Now, flow 2 can be a main flow for a flow 3. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So in that case, there is no restriction that any main flow should contain a listener, right? Total depends on how you are seeing that. Correct? So how many, I mean, can you please tell the hierarchy here? Flow, what is the flow 1, what is the flow 2, and what is the flow 3? Flow 1 is a main flow for a flow 2, and flow 2 is a main flow for flow 3, right? At the same time, flow 2 is a child for flow 1, and flow 3 is a child for flow 2.
Flow 1.
Flow 2. Flow 2 is referencing this flow 3. Got it? Clear?
Yes.
Now, there are 3 types of flows. One is main flow, one is private flow, and one more is subflow.
Subprivate.
We discussed about a main flow and a private flow. Now, can you please tell me, can I make this main flow as a private and private flow as a main flow? Can you do that?
No.
Why? If I am directly calling this flow 2 and this flow reference is referencing to flow 1, if I configure like that, then flow 2 will become a main flow, no? Yes or no?
Yes.
And flow 1 will become a private flow. So there is an flexibility that totally depends on what is the call you are making, to which flow you are making a call, right? In this situation, when we are talking about a main flow and a private flow, right? Now there is one more flow called subflow. Now normally what is the structure of a flow? We have source, we have process, and we have error handling, correct?
Yes.
Now if I get any exception at one of the processor level, where I can handle that exception?
Exception handler. Exception handler.
That means in the local error handler, flow to local error handler, correct? Now assume that I have not configured any logic, alternate logic in a flow to catch the exception. So what is the next step? That error will be cached by the caller flows error handler. Got it? Yes. Next.
Yes.
I said there is one more flow called subflow. What is the structure of this subflow? It contains only process part, where we can write some logic, right? So how to use this logic, how to call this flow, how to invoke this flow? Similar, same. How you are using a flow 3, a flow 2 to invoke any flow, same like that. By using a flow reference, you can invoke a subflow also, right? Then what is the difference between, so if both are, if I ask a question, what is the use of the subflow and the private flow, what is the use? Why we are writing that?
We will call for error handling.
No. My question is, see here in a flow 2 I have written some logic. I can write the same logic in the flow 1 only, no? Why I'm writing externally and calling that flow? Why I'm making this as a big project? Why can't I write in the flow 1 itself? What is the reason?
Because it's going to get complicated as the logic increases. So we are trying to just have separate concerns here.
That is one point. And one more important one.
decoupling.
What is that? Reusability. Whatever the logic I have written in a flow 2, can I invoke from flow 4? If I want the same logic from flow 4, can I invoke that?
Yeah.
Yes, right? So write once and use many times. Very simple logic, right? And in the subflow also, write the logic. Can I invoke that subflow? Yes. Then what is the difference between a private flow and a subflow? Both are for reusable purpose only, no? What is the use? What is the difference?
Because the subflow would only contain the process, it goes so to any other things as well.
Subflow don't have error handling.
That is one. That is one. I will come to that point. That is one. Next. Can I directly call the subflow?
No.
Can I call the subflow too if it is a private flow directly?
Yes.
Yes, right? If I configure a flow reference, right? And when someone told error handling, if I get an exception at a subflow level, who will handle that exception? There is any error handler for the subflow? No, right? So how to handle that exception? Simple.
It will be caught in the same flow which are caught.
Parents
No, the
error
exception will be caught by the main flow or the caller flow.
caller flows, we can catch the exception in the caller flows error handling block, right? If you don't want that, and if you are getting any exception at one of the processor level, we can catch that exception at a component level only by using a try scope. So at this component, okay, this exception handling is only applied only to this component. Okay, we'll discuss about this. I mean, in exception handling separate session, we have 2 sessions on that, how to handle the exceptions. And it's a very big story, very important and very interesting topic. Okay, that we'll discuss later, right? So now you understand types of flows and what is the flow and how to invoke one flow to another flow. Theoretically understood? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay, let me switch to your workspace. How to switch to your workspace? Right now I'm in some other's workspace, right? Some other batch workspace. How to switch to the current batch workspace? Go to the file, switch
Yeah.
workspace. What is our Johnny? I named the workspace name as Johnny, right? Let me switch to that. So hope everyone are able to follow me who are attending the first time also. Are you able to follow me, Pranay, Rajesh,
Yes.
Ravinder? Yes.
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 What I'm discussing
Yes.
today is very simple concept because I kept everyone in my mind who are coming for the first time also. I don't feel should not feel like we are discussing about something else. So that's why I'm taking chosen very small topic here, right? By tomorrow, I want everyone to be on the same page. Okay. So I'm opening one AnyPoint Studio, which is nothing but an IDE, integrated development environment, to develop your Mule applications like an Eclipse IDE. Many people are aware of Eclipse IDE, right? What is the Eclipse IDE? What we can do by using that? I mean, mostly if you're from Java background, you might have written your Java classes by using an Eclipse IDE, right? My AnyPoint
For
Studio is also
developing
similar. Pardon? Pardon? Someone is talking. Someone is saying something.
purpose, we are using Eclipse IDE.
Eclipse IDE. See, at the same time,
Yeah.
can we use an Eclipse IDE to create your Mule applications also? Can we use that Eclipse IDE? Yes, we can use an Eclipse IDE, but we need to add AnyPoint Studio plugin in a Eclipse IDE that you can get from the marketplace. There is one option called marketplace. From there you can get it as a plugin. So I don't suggest that because directly we have an ready-made option, that means ready-made application here to develop your Mule application, which is separately designed for this. Why you need to go with some other application which is adding this one as a dependency? Not required. No, straight away we have when we have this application, right? Okay, hopefully hopefully I understand that many people have gone through that previous task, practiced at least. Output, getting an output is different story, but hope everyone practiced who attended from my last session. If not practiced, and tomorrow is the last date for practicing for this, because going forward you will be getting multiple options, multiple tasks, so you'll not find some time, right? Don't get piled up, don't get these topics to get piled up. Please complete as soon as possible on daily basis. Spend at least half an hour, that's enough. So on that day, what we have done, we have set a payload by using a set payload component. I have written some expression also, right? I don't know how many of you completed. So I have written this expression and shown to you, right? Now I will explain about these flows, okay, within 2 minutes. Before that, I want to discuss about one more topic here. So what is the structure of an event? What is the structure of an event? Attributes,
Variables and payload.
payload and variable, right? So out of these three, what and all we have seen as of now? We have seen attributes, how to extract an attributes, right? If you are getting from the URL, how to extract the attributes we have seen. What is the next step we have seen? Payload, how to set a payload by using a set payload component we have seen. What is pending in that event? Variable, right? So right now I have an expression. Assume that it is a 20-line expression. Somewhere in your project you may use that 20-line expression, right? Again, you need to rewrite that, right? Instead of rewriting that, if you want to reuse that whatever the expression you have written without rewriting, what is an option? Can we store?
Fabric library.
What is it?
Some library is there.
No. These are customized, right? It is not related to any predefined. You have written some code. What we can do? Can we store this expression into some variable? Yes, that variable can be used across the project. Yes or no? So let me create one variable in the event. How to create any variable? By using set variable. This is also part of a transformer family, set variable. So let me drag and drop the set variable before the set payload. Now whatever the expression you have written in the set payload, let me take that into variable. Let me take that into variable. So I have given some value in the variable and I want to give some name to that variable. I can give as params. Params is the variable name, right? Now after the set variable, what is the event structure? Attributes, but I didn't set any payload as of now, and variables. Now I want to set a payload by extracting the variable value. How to extract any variable in Mule? How to extract any variable? By using a keyword called vars. Vars is a keyword. Dot represents a reference. Reference means in that Mule application, in that event, we can create a number of variables, right? If you create multiple variables, automatically wherever the event is occurred, wherever your event is propagated, there you can access that variable. Right now, under the vars, how many variables are created? Only one. That's why it is showing as a only one. It is suggesting one variable. Select that. Save it. Now let me deploy this application. So right now I don't want to deploy plain. I want to give a breakpoint here at a set variable level, and I want to see how event propagates between the processors, and at that event level, what is the event structure? That means at the processor level, what is the event structure? All these things we'll see. First, basically we are going to deploy this application in a debug mode, right? So how to give a breakpoint? Where I want to give a breakpoint? I want to give a breakpoint at a set variable level, right? If you want to give a breakpoint, right click on that wherever you want. If you are using 7.8, 7.7 of any you may not see the toggle breakpoint. You may see on breakpoint and off breakpoint, right? So right now toggle means on and off only. Right now I'm going to toggle the breakpoint on. Now I have given a breakpoint here. Let me deploy. How to deploy? Right click on that debug project. It will be deployed. Once while deploying, it will ask you to change the perspective. Right now we are in a design perspective. It will ask you to change to debug perspective. If you click on this, automatically it will switch it to debug perspective. Let's wait for that option. Yes. Do you want this perspective now? This perspective means debug perspective. Yes. You can see one Mule debugger window got created. That means where you are able to see the event structure, right? So on the console, still your application 01 basics application is getting deployed. Once it deployed, then I will give a request from my client. So I'm using a Postman as a client here. Yes, it is deployed. Now let me go to the Postman. What does the listener have? What is the path? I think the path has given, okay, this is the path. Go to the Postman. Let me give that path. /demo. What I need to give here? Name, value, and city value. Right now, if I send a request, my listener will listen for the request and convert into event. 1 second. Something wrong in this. Something wrong here in the variable level. That expression is wrong. I have written the expression wrong. What is that variable expression? Okay, we need to send the query parameters also, no? What is the key? I think it's a state and country. State equal to Karnataka, and one more query parameter, country India. Let me redeploy this application. What's happening here in the console? Whenever I try to deploy the application, first it will build. What is the build tool it is using internally? Maven as a build tool, right? First it will build, then it will start your mule runtime, and then your application, whatever the application builds successfully, that application is going to deploy on that mule runtime. All these logs I'm going to talk in day after tomorrow session.
Why it is asking you to stop and build again, Sujit?
No, every task.
Before, when you try to deploy, you got an option called run application.
Because the error, I got an error, no?
Okay, whenever there is error, you need to redeploy completely.
I mean, actually, we are in a debug mode, otherwise not required. Once it is deployed successfully, it is deployed. When I'm giving a request, since I'm in a debug mode, I don't want to get you to confuse. That's why I restarted it. Otherwise, from here only I can do it.
Okay.
We can do it here only. Just give one more request. That's it. Enough. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now what you do? Yeah. Let me give a request here. Now you can see there is no error at my set variable level. So set variable. So these are the blue dotted lines where that means it is not executed at before the set variable. What is the event structure? Attributes, payload, and variable. So from the listener, am I getting any payload? No. Am I getting any? I mean, before that set variable, did I create any variable?
No.
No. So payload is an empty. You can see in the right side rectangular box, no payload data, and the variable size is 0. I have not created a single variable also in that event. But do I have an attributes, incoming attributes? Yes, right? Attributes like URI parameter is an attribute, query parameter is an attribute, all these are attributes, right? Now, if I want to switch this control to the next processor, click on F6 function key. So once it switched to next processor, that means before the set payload, what is the event structure? What are the components got executed? Set variable got executed in the event. That means what? If you expand this variable size, what is the variable we created? Params is the variable, and this entire expression got evaluated. You can see I am Sujit from city Bangalore, state Karnataka, and country India. Right? Now I have a variable with the value so and so. Now what to do? What is the next step? By extracting this value from the variable, and I want to set a payload value. If you want to execute this set payload, click on F6. Now you can see the payload value. What I have done in a set payload? Pairs.params. I have extracted the variable value and I set as a payload. Got it? Next. Okay. Now, if I want to resume, that means if I want to deploy all the entire application, click on F8. Now go to the console and see. Since I used a logger, that log also will be shown. Here you can see I am what are the payload at the end of the flow. I mean in the event, that payload by default in the sense in the logger what I have written message. What is the expression I have written? Payload expression, data view expression as a payload. So it is extracting the value of a payload in the event and it is getting displayed. What is to be displayed on the Postman client level? Same thing. Got it? Yes or no? Right now, I am in a debug mode. Now I want to switch to design mode. How to switch to design mode? On the right side extreme corner, you can see two icons. One is green color icon, one is blue color, right? That means what? Right, green color represents a debug mode right now where we are. And if you want to design mode, switch on this blue color icon. Right now we switch to design mode, right? So always make it as a practice. Whenever you deploy the application in the developing stage, please stop the server. Without your notice, you will go to some other project and you will try to deploy one more application. then with the same port number, then definitely it is going to throw as binding issues, because already 8081 port is already occupied and deployed on this server, right, on your local host only. So at least in the development stage, when you are developing your application, once you send a request and you get a response and it's satisfied, please stop the server. It's hardly, it will take 1 minute to redeploy the application, right? So based on the experience, what the queries I got from the candidates, that's what I'm sharing with you. Okay, please take it that. So how to remove the breakpoint? Previously we have shown, right click on this toggle. Toggle means either on or off. That's it. Next. Now let me create one more XML file. How to create one more configuration XML? Right click on that folder, new mule configuration file. Right now I want to write close demo. Close demo. Quickly, I will simulate some response here, make you to understand this concept practically. Whatever I discussed earlier, I want to discuss about this practically to show you. So first, I have a listener. See, I automatically it is taken HTTP listener config. From where it is taken? Did I configure? By default, I got this. How?
It's taken from
From the
parent.
variables.
Taken from the
Parent.
Variable system.
variable. What is that variable?
No, I think it's
Parent.
taken from parent, right?
That itself is HTTP listener, right?
Where? That's what. Where it is configured already. Parent means what? I didn't get that one.
Flow one, like.
I
They are
have only one.
configured in the demo.
Yes. So I configured in the demo
Demo.
HTTP listener. It is acting as a global element. What is the meaning of a global element? We can access the global elements across the project, right? So
Yeah.
it's up to you whether you want to use the same configuration. By default, it will suggest. It's totally up to you whether you want to go ahead or not. If you don't want, can I create one more? Yes. I click on this plus sign. The name is changed. You can see HTTP listener config 1. Let me change the port number to 8082. So how many we can see from the drop down? 2, right? But if you go to the global, Ravinder, background noise. Okay. Now, if I want, where I stopped? Yeah. If I go to the global element, how many listeners, global elements I'm able to see? 1, right? But I'm able to access 2 global elements. How it is possible? What about this configuration? It is present under demo project. That means demo XML. In the flows demo, I have only one again. That is configuration XML. From this point, what you are able to understand? You can create the configurations in a separate XML, but that common global configurations can be accessed across the project. Got it? Next. Quickly, I will write. These are very self-explanatory. Quickly, I will write this one. To simulate some response, I'm using a set payload. In the set payload, what I will do, I will write flow 1 started. If any small string you are writing, you can write it in the display name of a set payload so that we can see the face of, we can see that configuration, the face of that particular component. Next. Okay. So let me write one more. Can I copy the component? Yes. I'm just copying the logger and placing here and pasting here. But whenever you copy paste with the same configurations, you will be getting a display name as copy of. If you are ready to edit that configuration again and again, you can do that. Otherwise, simply write the configuration again. So I have a flow 1. Let me create one more flow. Can I use the same configuration? Yes. What is the path I can give flow to? Okay, I have a two flows. I just written some basic logic here, right? So I'm how to invoke one flow to another flow? By using a flow reference? Yes or no? So if I click on this drop down, what are the flows you are able to see? What type of flows we are able to see here?
Two flows.
Two flows only,
Oh, three
which is
flows.
there in the demo flow also can be seen. What is the demo flow name? Demo flow is the flow name, right? So from the flow reference, can I invoke any flow which is present in this entire project? Yes, right? Right now I want to go with the flow 2. Yes. Now, if I deploy this application, can you please tell me what will be the body of the client and what will be the console response? And I'm going to give a request to the flow 1. Yeah. Think and tell me, everything is here only. In certification also, you will be getting the questions like this only. They will give a screenshot of this flow and corresponding XML also will be given. Okay, you need to identify, understand that, and you need to pick the answer. Now tell me, what will be the ultimate output to the client? At the same time, what will be displayed on the console?
Hey, Sujit, Prem here. I have a meeting now. I have to go. I'll pick the rest from the recording.
Yes, it's okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Yes, guys, please let me know.
When you show flow one started, flow one stopped.
Where on the console or at a client level?
Both.
Hmm?
Both. Both client and console.
On the postman. You mean to say on the postman?
Oh, I mean in Postman and also in the console.
Both the ways. Flow 1 started and flow 1 stopped only.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other answers? It's a very easiest one. Yes. Not required any prior knowledge for this. What I explained here, please try to replica here. I mean, just use the same concept here. Okay, otherwise what I will do, let me deploy this application in a debug pro. I will give a breakpoint here and let me deploy that in a debug mode. Yes, I'm switching to perspective. Once it deploy, I will give this request. This request will be listened by which flow in this XML? Flow 1 or flow 2?
Flow 2.
Flow 2. Flow 1, right? Flow 1, right? I'm giving a flow 1 as the path. What is the path for the flow 1? The flow 1 only, no? So this listener will be okay. Okay. One more thing. Definitely it is going to throw an error because what is the configuration I map to? 8082, right? I need to change the port number when you're sending a request, right? My listener will listen for the request. Okay, is it deployed? Yes, it is deployed successfully. Can I give a request now? Yes, I give a request. My listener will listen for the request and convert into event. That event, before this set payload, what is the event structure? This is the one, right? Payload is an empty. If I click on F6, what if you want to move to next processor? F6. My set payload will get executed. What is the payload value? Flow 1 started as of now, right? In the event, I have attributes, no variables, but payload value is flow 1 started. Let me click on F6 again. By the time logger also get executed, that means you should see on the console. Flow 1 started, are you able to see on the console? Right? Next, click on F6 again. It will, by using a flow reference, we are invoking a flow 2, the control, the event will be processed by the first processor in the flow 2, right? Now, what happening here in the set payload? Is it set payload executed? No, as of now, no. Click on F6 again. Now that set payload got executed. Now you can see the payload value. What is the payload value? Yes.
Flow
What I
2
have written in
started.
the set payload? Flow 2 started. So right now, what is the payload value? Flow 2 started. What happened to the flow 1 started? That will override with the latest value. Got it? Now at this level, payload values flow 2 started. If I click on F6, the logger also will get execute, and under the logger you can see flow 2 started. Right? Next, click on F6, flow 2 stopped will be the payload right now. Click on F6 again, logger got executed, flow 2 stopped. Similarly, final payload, what is the payload? Flow 1 stopped. Right? Click on F6, it's got set as a payload, and finally you can see the logger. Flow 1 stopped. So how many logs I got here? Flow 1 started, flow 2 started, flow 2 stopped, and flow 1 stopped. Right? And at the console level, at the end of the flow, what is the event structure? Attributes. Payload value is what? Play one. Sorry. What is the payload value? Flow 1 stopped is the payload value in the event at the end of the flow. That event will be given back to the listener. Under the listener, according to the responses you configured here, what is the body? By default, it's a payload value. Yes or no? Right now, are you in expression mode? Yes, right?
Yes, yes.
What type of expression it is? We are using what type of expressions? Yes, yes. What type of expressions we are using? Data view expression language.
Yeah.
See, by default, if you see that if you're in expression mode, please treat that as a syntax hash and square bracket. Whatever you write in that two square brackets, it represents as what? Data view expression. Hope everyone got the point here. Yes, no. Understood the types of flows here? How to work on the flows? Any questions? Any questions here? Yes, no.
Why console? Not console. I mean, why the Postman only has flow 1 stop? Only one message?
Why in the sense listener is responsible to give the response back to the client, right? Under the response,
yes.
What is the payload?
Yes, yes.
What is the payload value in the event at the end of the flow? That payload only will be displayed to the client. Why logger is displaying every line item? because when this logger is getting executed, at that point of time in the event, the payload value is flow 1 started. That's why it is giving the payload value on the console. Next, when the processor move to next line, what is the payload value? It will override with the latest value. That is why when this logger is got executed, that payload value is displaying on the console. Like that, 4 loggers will get displayed. At that point of time, what is the event structure? In that event, what is the payload value that is getting displayed? But end of the flow, we have only one payload, that is flow 1 stopped. That is why listener is giving response. What is the payload value? Flow 1 stopped on the client level.
Okay, got it.
Jill, can you show me the flow reference one more time? Because I lost that particular part. Okay.
If you select the scope of the flow reference is entire project level.
Yeah.
You can see demo flow, which is part of your demo.xml file. Okay, we can invoke any flow in the project level.
Okay, so flow reference you have given flow 2. Fine.
Yes, I am invoking the flow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Next. Tomorrow I am going to discuss about a first module in our topics. First module. Till now we have created our own project and we have seen the stuff, basic stuff, how flow works, different types of flows and all. Tomorrow we are going to start with our first module called Java module. By seeing this word, many people will get panic. Don't do that. So Java, we are not going to write any Java classes. Some Java developer has given a class to you, how you are going to consume the methods present in that class. So that I want one favor from your end. By tomorrow class, everyone please understand or try to understand the basics of what is a class in Java. Basic. I don't want to write anything here. Just understand the basic. What is a class? Types of methods present in that. Right? And how to invoke that methods. How to invoke these methods. Okay? And syntax to create a new object. Okay, these 4 line items, if you are thorough by tomorrow, any which ways I'm going to given how it works in Java first for half an hour, then the same thing I'm going to replicate in the Mule application also, same concept, right? But when I'm speaking, no one should be in a blank. That is the reason I'm asking you to go through before the session itself. It will be a great help while you are understanding that, when you are listening to my session. Got it? Any questions here?
Yeah, I do not have any questions about the topics that you mentioned here, but I have a, it might be a silly thing, but what is the use of giving this breakpoint?
Debugging. The control will stop here and you can see what is the event structure at that point of time. See, if I give a breakpoint here, once the listener for the request and convert into event, that at this point of time, what is the event structure, you will see. The control will stop here and we are able to see that what is that event structure.
Okay.
We have breakpoint means we are breaking the flow here itself. Hello? Someone asked the question.
Got it. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Simple debug mode. We are into the debug mode. We are debugging. What is the processor? What is the event structure at that point of time? Wherever you want to give a breakpoint, you can give the breakpoint. So when you give a breakpoint at a processor level, understand that it is not getting executed. Before that, what is the event structure? That will only display.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's recommended only for the development. Yeah, recommended only for the development side, right? This one, I mean, when you're doing the development. Yes.
This Anypoint Studio will be there only in the development environment.
Disagree.
Yeah. So I'm stopping the recording.